Hello viewers. So I hope you must have watched my video Research Design, Introduction to Research Design and Types of Research Design Part 1. As this is in continuation of the previous two videos, let me have a quick recall of the research design video and also about the types of research design. So in research design I explained you the main things we cover in research design, or what are all the features of a good research design. And then in types of research design, I mainly explained you about the descriptive research design and the exploratory research design. So this video will mainly tell you about the experimental research design, that is causal research design. Now experimental research design is itself a little bit complicated research design, and it is being used in the you can say arenas wherein we have some groups to work as an experiment. We create groups, we make experimental groups, control groups, and then we have a lot of things to do in that. So that is a little bit critical research design. It is purely on the discretion of the researcher to select their research design, depending on again the objective of research and also the construct of the research. So here I'll start my research design part 2, in which we will be focusing on mainly the experimental research design. Let's start to learn experimental research design.
So let's begin the understanding of experimental research design, which we also call it as causal research. First of all, before getting into the types of it, we have to understand fundamental meaning of an experiment. What is an experiment? As you can see in the slide, experiment refers to causality. While performing an experiment, researcher actively manipulates one or more causal variables and measures their effect on the dependent variable. We will be also taking up the video on the concept and the variables, because whenever we go for the research, the first and the foremost thing is to understand the variables and how we convert the concepts into variables. When we go for an experiment, in an experiment, the researcher always need to have certain set of variables, and what the experiment says is that it manipulates the one or the other variable to see its effect on the another variable. So that's why an experiment, we always say it is refers to a causality. Let's understand the experiment in a detailed manner with an examples. Like here you can see that I have given mainly two types of experiments. Whenever this word experiment comes, that feel of lab comes in our mind. And we always think that yes, experiments related with the science and engineering, you have seen a lot of experimentation is going on. Experiment is some an activity where we go for and we come up with some observations and some inferences. So as you can see in this slide, we have categorized the experiment into two. That is, one is the lab experiment and the field experiment. In lab experiment, I have not taken the example of any basic science discipline or any other, because yes, we know that the experiment goes on. We find out some solution for a particular problem, you say, and we go for a set of variables or the set of reactions and then identify the results accordingly. In case of human science, also in case of humanities or in case of social science or in case of marketing, if you see, yes, even the lab experiment goes on. Here I have taken the example of COVID-19 situation, and COVID-19 situation in lab and in field both. Why? I'll explain you. In lab, if you see right now, a lot of experimentation is going on to find out the vaccine related to COVID-19, and that is why in the this all experiment is going on in lab only. So we have taken this example in lab, and along with this, if it is seeing in the field, where there are the experiments which we conduct in the field as well. Field, if you see the normal field, the general field we are talking about, yes, if we take an example of agriculture or take an example of social science, we do the experiment in the field, the respective field we are covering in our research. So if you take the example of again the COVID-19 situations, we are right now also doing some experiments in the field as well, to understand the behavior of the customer or to understand the psychology of the investor or to understand lot many perspectives related to an individual. And we are seeing its effect also now. It's being almost more than 6-8 months of facing this situation. So definitely some observations are coming out, taking an example of observing that how people are feeling before having the online education. Now it is a time of online education. So all these experimentation, all these research is now being conducted, and it is also very frequently will be taken care in the near future also. So therein we have the experiment in case of COVID-19, and both experimentation is there, that is lab and that is field. Also, I've taken here an example of neuromarketing. This is an emerging field in the marketing era where we are studying the psychology of the consumer, and it is mainly through brain. So here also the lab experimentation is to be done when we are studying the behavior of the customer or the consumer, or the psychology of the consumer, the customer, before buying a product or maybe after buying the product. So this is an emerging field in the case of marketing field, that is in the field of the management, you say. And that's why we go for this lab experiment. So here also we are keeping some situations constant, and we are altering certain situations, and then we see the effect of that. So in lab, the experiment is to be conducted in the controlled environment. Yes, in field also we go for it, but then it is little bit tough to have the controlled environment in case of field experiment. The researcher has to do a lot of, you can say, to follow a lot of principles for going for the controlled environment in case of field experiment. Here also I've taken another example. You all must be knowing about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and how this Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is affecting. This is also to be taken care, and then in that case, if we take two, maybe you can say with two villages, one where it is being adopted and one where it is not. So the difference between these two groups can be taken into consideration, and then again the results comes accordingly. So with this example, I have tried to give you a brief understanding of the lab experiment and field experiment. So whenever we have this kind of concept in our mind, or this kind of thought in our mind, that I want to observe the situations and I want to conduct certain experiment on the population covering for the research. So in that case, we go for these majorly two kinds of experiment. Maybe it is a lab or it is a field, depending on again the objective of the research. You can also take the example of 2020 NEP, you can say National Education Policy, the recent policy which has been introduced, and now how this policy will be implemented, how what all effects will it generate over a period of time. This will be this is opening and another you can say Pandora box for the research. And in this, definitely the field research or the field experiments will be involved to see the effect of the same. So these are the basic examples through which I tried to clear you the meaning of lab experiment and field experiment. The word experiment is not only restricted to the science and the engineering anymore, it is also applicable in the all the other fields of research. Now when you go for an experiment, there are certain variables or there are certain concepts you have to understand before getting into the experimental research design. Today we will be talking about those concepts first, and then in my next video we will be talking about the types of experimental research design in detail. So now let's begin with one by one explanation. That is the first thing which I always say, that when we go for the experimental or the causal research, because talking about the cause and effect. So definitely the researcher should have the set of variable dependent and independent variables. The name suggests independent variables are also known as explanatory variables because they are explaining, and these variables measures the effect of treatments. So basically the variable which is independent in nature, that is known as independent variable, and it is also known as explanatory variable because these variables have the power to explain the dependent variable. The dependent variable is, by the name suggests, the variable which depends on the independent variable. That, as we always say, that what if we take a common example of the demand and price, which is very easy to understand. So we usually see that what depends on what. That is, if you change the price, if the price goes up or the price goes down, definitely it produces an effect on the demand. So this set of variables usually we have with in our research, and we then put it into category of dependent and independent variables. Now there are certain variables which act as a which have an effect on your study, but you are not covering that. Like for an example, right now we have taken the example of demand and price. So here I am not taking the another variable into consideration, that is maybe the quality of product, or maybe you can say any other thing, you can say that is the awareness level or affordability also. So this is I'm not considering this particular variable in my study right now. So this will be taken as an extraneous variable, the variable that are not related to the purpose of the study. That means we are not taking up into the consideration. So that is the extraneous variable which may intervene, which may affect the results of your study. Then control. This term is used to minimize the effect of extraneous independent variables, because there are certain variables which are extra independent, and we have to minimize the effect of those variable because we want to be precise in our results. And then there are certain methods and tools which we use to control the effect of the extraneous variable. So this is the basic explanation of the concepts which we are using in the experiment. Further to this, if you see, as I narrated in the initial part of my video, that we create certain groups when we go for the experiment. The one is the experimental group and the other is the control group. Now, what do you mean by an experimental group? Which is exposed to the new conditions or to the phenomena you're studying. Like in an experimental hypothesis, when the group is exposed to usual condition, it is known as control. But when it is exposed to some novel, now what do you mean by here novel conditions? Like for an example, you have a class, and in class you have one group and you have the another group. So maybe this one group is studying in the conventional mode. Maybe you have a conventional mode of learning, so they are learning in this conventional mode. And this second group you have maybe exposed to the advanced learning mode. Now, this you classify on your own. Right now, also, we take an example of this COVID-19 also. But here we are not taking up this example because somehow, or maybe you can take an example of the employees group also. So, if you have two group of employees, so maybe to one group you give them special training, and the another group is to the general conditions, no training. So no specific training as such. So if we classify the group as control group and experimental group, so definitely at the end of the experimentation, we will see the difference of the variance between these two groups, and we will see that whether the significant effect is there of the particular intervention you have introduced or not. So with the example of this class, or with the example of this employee, I tried to explain you the meaning of experimental and control group. Again, to revise, experimental group is a group which has been exposed to the novel conditions, and control group is the group which is exposed to the usual condition, or you can say that the group which is not get into the new conditions. Now, whatever treatment, this is that, like I have explained you, this is spatial training, or maybe this advanced learning mode or conventional learning mode. So these are the treatments. So the different conditions under which experimental and control groups are put are usually referred as treatments. Now, a researcher has to understand the meaning of all these terms before getting into the experimental research design, because it plays a very important role in understanding the term and then uh, explaining the same. Now, when you go for further this, we have the units that is known as experimental units, the predetermined plots or blocks or any unit over which the experiment is to be carried out. So that the previous example, if you say the experimental unit was the student or the employees, so one has to classify at what experimental units you will be taking care of, taking into the research study. And as I said, that when you go for the experimental research design, it's always the component of hypothesis should be there. So then research hypothesis needs to be there. So that means in this we are hypothesizing a relationship, and then it is to be tested by some scientific methods. Then there is another term which comes in the experimental research. You can say this is the confounded relationship, the confusing relationship. So when the dependent variable is not free from the influence of extraneous variable, then it is known as a confounded relation, and we say that the relationship between the dependent and the independent variable is being confounded by an extraneous variable. So this is also a tough thing to you can say remove, because whenever we go for the dependent and independent variable, there are certain variables which always affect the study, and in an experimental research design it has to be taken care, because otherwise the results may influence, or the results will not be error free. So this confounded relationship also needs to be understood by the researcher if he or she is going for the experimental research design. And at the last of this video, I'll be just giving you the major types of experimental research design, because once you'll go for my next video, please have a reading of these experimental research design by your own, and then we'll be taking up the one by one these experimental research design, because in the beginning of my video I told you that this is a big topic per se in research design, experimental research design, and little bit critical to understand and little bit critical to apply. But believe me, this is a unique way to get your research work to be novel, because which always give the different edge to you. So these are the types of experimental research design, that is pre-experimental, quasi-experimental, true experimental, and statistical or formal design. In my next video, I'll be touching upon firstly the basic principles of experimental research design, and then all these four types of research design one by one. Thank you.